All right, welcome back, welcome back. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, we're here at number 6, the month of June. Before we get started, talking about everything that's going on in the community, we're going to talk about home ownership. I want to say good day, Ron Calhoun. It's like a brand. Ron, I just watched the movie Air, talking about Michael Jordan and Nike and Philip Knight, how they actually built a community, and then the brand Nike became such a culture name brand in our community. And that's, to me, that's what the Calhoun, Ron Calhoun, is like a brand. You are famous. I'm at the beginning stages with a millionaire.
Well, I thank you for all those accolades, there, brother. You kind of pushing it kind of hard there compared to Nike and Michael Jordan. Come on, I'm nowhere even close to that. All we're trying to do is just trying to help the community on a low level. Yeah, like I said, and create home ownership, and then help the community out that's suffering from not having home ownership. But I appreciate
it. Yeah. And when I say rich, I'm really talking about wealth, because you are building relationships with individuals one by one in the community, and you're looking at the compound effect of what can happen once your neighbor becomes a homeowner, and then that neighbor contributes that knowledge to the next generation. And that's what I mean when I say rich and wealth. You're building it up one by one.
Correct. Yeah, and as we've talked about before in the community and stuff, what we're doing with the city of Monroe right now, like with the 4 projects that we have going on in 4 different neighborhoods, as you just stated, by us building brand new homes, brick homes on a slab, people getting brand new homes, hopefully those neighbors next door, and even the city of Monroe has a blight program that they're trying to put in place where the neighbors around those people actually starts the process. Actually, local community people that live on that street take initiative to go out and start painting the houses, doing flower beds, to start transforming the neighborhood. You know, just us building new houses doesn't transform the neighborhood alone. So hopefully there'll be some other people that take initiative on that street, in that neighborhood, or a block at a time. They'll go in and start, renovating homes, updating yards and everything, to make it nice again. So.
All right, sounds good. But hey, let's let the people know what we're going to talk about today, because we got right into it. Because you and I talk offline on the regular, so we thinking everyone is already caught up to speed with where we're going. But we're going to talk about this proverb that everyone has heard about, and it reads, "Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime." And before we jump right into the content, start discussing it one by one, so we got to let the people know what we're talking about. Once upon a time, Ron, I thought that was directly from the Bible per se, but ultimately it is a proverb, but it's not in the Bible verbally, but there are teachings around that as far as educating a person and becoming sufficient, self-sufficient. And I'm seeing that the organization Ahaya, this is what they're doing in my point of view. They're actually dialoguing with a future buyer of a person who's interested in home ownership. And through educating this person about home ownership, now they put themselves in a better financial position so they can acquire a home to be rehabbed, or 2, as you just mentioned, from the ground up, from the slab all the way up, brand new construction. Self-sufficiency. So my question to you is, when you hear that proverb, what thoughts come to your mind?
Well, with me, it goes back even further. My grandfather, we grew up, what I'm saying? My grandfather did farming. So we picked peas, okra, butter beans.
Whoa. Ron, you the man. Don't go too far with it now.
Well,
Dude,
no, I mean,
you
I
did all that now.
Yes, sir, brother. I'm 53 years old. So
right.
So my dad and my family, like I said, growing up in the summer times, like it is now, man, my grandfather had us up 5 o'clock in the morning in the field, picking peas, okra, butter beans, okra, you name it, watermelons, cantaloupe. So we grew food. So we learned how to use our hands. at an early age. And I remember going to college at Northeast. At that time I wanted to be a pilot. I thought anyway. And I remember my grandfather telling me, he said, son, listen. Well, he said, son, listen. He said, there's nothing wrong with going to college, getting a degree. But if a man learns how to use his hands, he can always make money. And that stuck with me the whole time I was in college, as well as in my adult life, because I come from a family who my uncles them did brickwork. So they bricked a lot of the neighborhoods around Northeast Louisiana. My dad was a carpenter and knew how to do everything. Same thing, I got uncles that work on appliances. So I come from a family that actually learned how to use their hands. So with that being the case in regards to that proverb, so those cats learn how to use their hands to utilize their talents and the gift that God had given them. So even now, they're able still to make money. My uncle, my dad, and they're 84 years old. And my uncle, folks call him constantly about coming fixing their washer, their dryers and everything. And you got a lot of young folks now don't want to learn a trade. So it goes back to, there's an initiative that's going on right now, even with when I met with Senator Cassidy. He actually approached me about setting up with Ohio Community Development a program through the school system to actually bring in high school kids to learn the trades, because kids now are not really learning the trades: to be a plumber, to be an electrician, to be a heat and air guy, to do concrete. And all this stuff is labor intense, hard work, but is great money in these trades. So that's something that the government, once again, the government is actually pushing for the schools and the kids to go back into learning trades, doing something with their hands, so they can continue to always make money. Now, even though we know there's technology, as you and I talked about earlier, if something was to happen with technology,
you can't drop that on everybody, bro.
if something was to happen, we went back, because you're gonna always have to have somebody to know how to build a house. You're gonna always need somebody to paint. So a computer can't paint your house. A computer cannot unclog your toilet. They can't unclog the sewer line. So AI, even though AI is coming and all the AI technology they're talking about, everything that's dealing manual, then you still have to do manually, even with the highways.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to Texas and you see these guys working on the highway, that computer can't come out there and do that. So it's something that the young people, and as well as the high schools and the elementary, junior highs, they need to concentrate on again. It's going back to teaching trades.
Right. And I was just joking when I say you can't let everybody know about what we were talking about, but to let the people know, we were talking about something that we all experienced recently. I think it was 2 years ago in Texas, which was our neighbors, where the electricity, the grid went down for 3, 4, 5 days maybe. And you and I offline were talking about that. What would we do as a community?
Correct.
Because I was born in the urban community, in the inner city. So outside of 2020, I've never seen a supermarket had bare shelves. It's always been full. And I'm 53. It's always been full except for that time frame. Now, you talking about growing up, you learn, we talking about this proverb, which really touches what you just mentioned, actually learning hands-on how to grow your own food and actually be self-sufficient. I've always had to go to the grocery store, and I've always depended on the grocery store. So, and I lived in Chicago. So before I moved to Louisiana, I've always patronized the supermarket. Never had a second thought that the grocery store would be bare, empty. Never had a second thought that the electricity grid, we would have electricity. And in Louisiana, we experienced the rolling blackouts 2 years ago.
Well, what's funny is, because like I said, over the years, I've traveled to Africa on like 3 different occasions. And here in America, we've gotten spoiled. Over there, they constantly have rolling blackouts where the power goes out. So now, here, now, they sell the generators. A lot of people have on their houses. But imagine the average person now, power going out, especially now it's summertime now, getting 80 and 90 degrees. And like just like you said, up in Chicago and New York, man, when it gets hot up there, because most of those people don't have AC
Correct.
because living in the north, and you hear on the news of people dying from heat exhaustion or heat strokes or whatever. So I think a lot of people we take it for granted here in the South. And once again, it's just always good to be prepared. And you know, we joked over the years about the so-called preppers, people that have prepped for preparing for different things. But once again, it's best to always be prepared. So yeah, most
Absolutely,
definitely.
absolutely. And then you brought up an idea that uh, some of us live in the cities of Monroe, West Monroe, things like that, and then some of us live in the parish. But there's even you can go even further out in the rural communities where you can actually live and live off the land if needed be, or as a secondary outlet. Because no longer, I will never ever say no, it will not happen because I experienced it in modern day and I have to explain to my children, my children's children, that yes, this happened to us during in the 21st century. We just never knew. We were around here in America wearing masks,
Yeah.
wearing gloves, communicating with one another, locked down for a short period of time. So history, we lived it, and now we have to get to the stage of preparing for something we may not be able to predict, but having the forethought to think about it and preserving and making it happen today for the next generation, preparing them. Because my son and his son, they don't believe this stuff. I don't know if they took it serious as I did. It scared me.
Yeah. That's once again, I have to thank God for coming up like we did. Uh, and for some reason, you know, there's a scripture says, you know, the Most High will open certain people's eyes to see, and then certain ones will be able to hear as well. So I thank God for having eyes to hear, eyes to see and ears to hear in regards to, you know, His voice in regards to preparing for things that, you know, that are not seen yet. So uh, if it's on the national news and they keep talking about the grid, I don't know if you heard it on the national news. They're talking about so-called terrorists, or they hear chatter, and then even on the national news they reported a ammonium nitrate. I don't know how the railroad loses a boxcar full of ammonium nitrate train car.
Right,
But
right,
you know,
right.
these things that, you know, we just have to be vigilant about in regards to when they putting it out there, the warnings, you know, and it just to be prepared. So I tell people all the time, stockpile food, water, and just never know. I'd rather have it, you know what I'm saying, or be in a situation where something happens like, well, you got to think about, we had the snowstorm a couple years ago where everything was shut down. We went to Brookshire's, where I see you at all the time.
Hmm.
Brookshire shells were the trucks couldn't come in. The shells was clean, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir.
you know, it just you just never know. Well, from the winter time to the summer to, you know, something happens with the electrical stuff. So just best to be prepared. Be prepared.
That's right. And so luckily with a local organization, a nonprofit organization in our community, a higher community development corporation actually can put us in a position to help each other. How?
Yeah.
On home ownership. June is home ownership month, and that's what we want to talk about. Home ownership. How can we start to prepare, Ron, for home ownership in the month of June, whether it's preparing today and being able to execute in a year or 2 years? What advice can you share with us? Because I mean, we see you on the book, IG, and all them beautiful brand new homes being built, but it's like I said, you got years of doing it, but to some of us, that's new. I can go out and rent a house anytime, an apartment, but home ownership, that's it's I don't want to say scary, but I haven't been properly educated so I can absorb the process. What can we do?
Like we said before, and you just mentioned something in regards to the fear factor. Um, it's I can't understand it. You know, why most people fear applying for the house. Like I said, they'll pay $800, $1,500. Some people paying $2,000 a month rent. If you can pay that amount of money, then you can definitely save up money or go and apply for a mortgage loan. So like I said, there's a fear factor there. And the scripture says that we're not supposed to fear anything but the Most High God himself. But I have to say Satan has placed that in the minds of our people. And then the other thing is when people are raised renting and it becomes generational, and not trying to belittle anyone in any aspect, but you have some people who grow up in public housing, and then it becomes a domino effect where people stay in that same, say mama lived there, then the daughter had a child or the son ended up getting with a girl or whatever, having a child, and then it becomes a domino effect. But once again, and I try to tell everyone, there's opportunity for everyone to move out of that status if you truly desire. Now, people say, well, you can't help everybody. That is true. The scripture says that the poor gonna be with us always. So we already know that we're not gonna be able to help everybody, but the key to it, as you was asking, how can we prepare? First of all, we know you cannot buy a house unless you have credit. So if you need information, the financial information in regards to how to build your credit, what you need to do to help with the credit, we assist with that as well. All you have to do is give us a call. Matter of fact, you have a lot of people out here that charge for the service. The information that we've learned over the years, we've basically been giving it free. Saying once again, like I tell everybody when they call, hey, I need to know what your credit score is. If you don't tell me what this credit score is, I cannot direct you on what you need to do to actually add to help boost the credit score. So that's the first process. And then after you do that, after you got the credit straight, you get with us in regards to, we'll send out applications to you. But we are setting it up now where we don't have to send an application to you, be able to go online, input the information. So we're trying to streamline it because the number of people that we have calling and coming in, we're trying to streamline, as you just said, technology. We're trying to implement and get away from the old way that, so we've been doing it for years, and where people will be able to complete the application and upload their information to the website. So that's going to help streamline it for us and then speed up the process. So
Okay.
those are the two major things that they need to do first: credit, then also contact us, and then so we can give them the application information to get it sent in. Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds good. All right. Definitely using technology to streamline the process. But as you just mentioned about the programming that has taken place over the years, people living in certain aspects of housing. But if I understand it right, Ahaya has a program where individuals that are getting subsidies from the government can use those benefits to qualify for their own mortgage. Is that
Correct.
fair to say?
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, through the Housing Authority and the Section 8 vouchers, that's actually a government program that helps. And it's not even dealing with us. It's just another little side note. Section 8 has actually programmed that the amount of that voucher, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually use it to help go towards down payment. Now the house, they're probably gonna kill me. William, they're probably gonna kill me for dropping this. But a lot of people don't even really know, through the Section 8 and through public housing, through that Section 8 voucher, they can actually utilize that to help them actually purchase a home. You know what I'm saying? So there's a program out there, they can Google it in regards to Section 8 vouchers, how they can help with down payment assistance and all that kind of stuff through Section 8. Through our program that we're utilizing for the rural areas, is basically 100% financing. The other key to our program is this: the government helps them out in regards to 33 years in regards to financing over a 33-year period, where the local mortgage companies only finance over 30 years. And on a case-by-case basis, our program will go up to 38 years, financing for 38 years, which is unheard of by any other program. We had some people reaching out to us last week about NACA. NACA is another large mortgage organization that helps people with a lot of 100% financing, but they're really big on the East Coast. And they're asking, well, they've seen some of the posts on Facebook and asking, was this NACA? No, it's not NACA. You know what I'm saying? But our program is better because, as you just stated, we even have the subsidy. So if they're actually considered very low income, the government will come in and help subsidize their monthly note in regards to, once we do the formulas and the worksheets of their income and in regards to their debts, the government actually come in and help subsidize their monthly note. So just to give you an idea of what that is. So if a house comes in $1,300 a month, and if they qualify, the government might come in and pay $400 of that note. So if you're already still paying $800 a month and on a Section 8 voucher or whatever, then now the government you're able to afford this brand new home or purchase a existing home that's already built, and the government comes in and subsidize that monthly note up until the time of the house is paid off.
Wow, pretty powerful. Now I gotta jump back a little bit. Like you said, Mr. Smart don't kill you. So I gotta say to you, Ron, I don't want you to kill me, because you were talking about credit, but and I learned this from you, is that even there are credit qualifiers, but under the program that you're offering, your program can go beyond the traditional credit line methods and use like non-traditional credit. Can you speak to us about that to help me get qualified?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the requirement is for a minimum 640 credit score. So a lot of times, you might get a client that comes in at a 580, 590 credit score, or even at a 600 credit score. So that customer with that credit score might have all their bills they're paying on time for the last 12 months. So, and what we've seen in this market is, especially in regards to the low income and very low income, a lot of those people don't have actual credit, meaning credit cards or car loans. A lot of people pay stuff in cash, and I commend them because, like I said, I said this before when we talked before. A lot of people come in do not have debt.
That's
so
right.
So what happens is,
I wish that was me.
Me too, brother. So what happens to those customers, because they don't have anything that's financed, the credit score is low. So it's not because they have bad credit, it's because they have no credit. So what the government is saying is this: they said, so if they're renting, evidently they're going to have rent payment. They're going to have electric. They're going to have water. So they're going to have utilities. So what the government is saying, because they don't have actual credit, that stuff that is financed, then what the government will look at is the actual utility bills as well as their rent payments. If they've made those payments for 12 months on time, then we get a copy, a printout of that from each organization. Then they'll actually use those alternative credit pieces to help them actually get financing to show that their credit worthiness, because they're making all those payments on time.
That's right.
So definitely.
That's right. Wow, that's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. So really, we just need to go to the website or give the office a call, so we can just sign up and start the pre-approval process.
Correct. Reach out to us. Like I said, I don't even have the number. Lord, I don't know what it is. But I like I said, like I tell everybody, they can always contact me on my my cell phone, or hit us on Facebook, hit us on Instagram.
Right.
I always hit everybody back. My number is 318-953-9698. So I'll always contact everybody back, and we'll send the information. Like we said before, we're processing the loans. Right now we're in the Arcadia area, working loans. We have some people that are interested in Farmerville, Tallulah, Winsboro area. So around Northeast Louisiana, we're making headway to help people get financing in different areas. And that was our focus, to actually, help Northeast Louisiana. And now what's happening is we have a connection, a team member. We're in the Maryland, Washington, D.C. area. So we're connecting up there to ready to start doing loans on the East Coast. We have another group in Marietta, Georgia, that are teaming up with us to do loans in the Marietta, Georgia area. And we have another gentleman that I was on the phone with out of Hempstead, Texas. The guy, saying he knows what we're doing with the government, and he told us he needs 13,000 houses in Hempstead, Texas. So that's a lot of properties to help try to finance and
yeah, 13,000.
Because Hempstead is right there northwest of the Houston area. So because of our advertising and marketing that we've been doing on Facebook and Instagram, we have people reaching out from different areas now, which is now causing us to expand. So that's why I mentioned to you earlier that now we're gonna have to get to the point where we actually utilize technology to start streamlining the process and get the information in. Because it just helps us in the office to help streamline it and the process of stuff faster.
That's right. Definitely makes sense. Absolutely. Well, I definitely appreciate you carving out some time today, because today is just such a lovely day. I think I'm gonna go outside and cut some grass and get me I have my Gatorade right here, a Powerade, so I'm ready.
Wait a minute, a man with all the businesses you got, you still cutting your own grass? You're not paying nobody to do it for you?
Well, you know how we get picky. We think people don't do it just right. So hey, you know how that goes. But I'm gonna get out there. So
I'm getting you back, like you trying to tell me, Tony.
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna give you the last few words. Anything else you want to share with the people? Because what my takeaway is that ultimately the only thing that's preventing me from home ownership is myself and my mindset. I have to change my behavior. And hey, I can start the pre-approval process as quick as today.
Yeah. In regards to just what to give the people, if they're interested, then basically the best thing to do is just reach out to us. And once again, we can't help everyone at this time. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's gonna come through at different levels. So if you come through at that time and your credit score is low, it's like we've had to do with other people. We have to work through the process, give you 6-month time, and then come back to us. Matter of fact, we've had several customers that come in. The local banks approved them for $200,000. Just had a phone call last night. Young lady approved by the bank $200,000. But if they fit into our parameters in regards to the income, that same customer got approved to the local bank for $200,000. With our program, they're able to qualify for $300,000. So it just, what I'm saying? You have to call to find out, what I'm saying? Let us pre-qualify you if you're interested, and then, just go from there. So we're here to help the community the best way we can. And like I said, we try to help everyone. So that's what I have for, before we sign off here.
All right. Well, I definitely appreciate it.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
All right.